It's high heat in the high desert. It's Southwest soccer at its finest. It's the 23rd edition of the Derby del Camino Real. Good evening and welcome to our coverage here from Southwest University Park in El Paso. I'm Duke Keith. Joel Rodriguez will join me shortly. So, we'll address the elephant in the room here in a bit, but let's talk about Locomotive FC and where they are right now in a very, very odd place. Junior Gonzalez's men, through a rash of red cards and injuries, found itself with its backs against the wall, not winning since April 11th, but having to play a man down for much of 7 games out of the 20 they've played so far. That's more than a third. Junior Gonzalez believes his team has forged something a little more.
It puts us in a position where there's nothing really that we haven't seen. I mean, one game we're down 2 men. We're in a good position still, and for us to have that much adversity and still be in a position where we can fight to get to the top 4 in league is a positive. It just makes us more well-rounded and have dealt with different scenarios that could help us in the second half of the season.
Last Saturday, Los Locos provided evidence of their coach's faith. 2-1 July 4th win in Sin City. 20 minutes in, the captain Eric Calvillo pounced on a bad pass out of the back from keeper Charlie Lanfear, pinged it to Rubio Rubin. First time to cross to Alex Mendez, 1-0 Locomotive FC. Lights forward Johnny Rodriguez continues to score goals against El Paso, and the veteran tied the match for Vegas deep in first half stoppage time. But it took Locomotive just 7 minutes into the second half to find the match winner, this time Mendez providing the helper, winning a duel in midfield, allowed to run straight at the Lights' defense. The dish to winger Alvaro Quesada, who timed his shot perfectly, using his marker as a screen, tucks it into the far post. What a goal. New Mexico United had a happy 4th of July themselves at home against Oakland Roots SC. The comeback kid, Albuquerque native Christian Nava, scored in just the 6th minute. Beautiful touch on the long ball out of midfield, popped into the far corner. United padded the lead in the 41st. Dayon Harris just outruns the Roots back line to this long ball out of the back, tapped over to Zico Bailey for the finish, 2-0. Roots would score 1 in the second half, but that was all she wrote, 2-1 for United. Tonight, both Locomotive and United battle for the lone wildcard spot in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Switchbacks FC, the Group 2 winner, one of 2 teams to have sewn up the top spot in the Cup, which involves all 42 teams across the Championship and League One. And Locomotive or United, whoever wins, is going to need some help. But tonight may be the most watched League Cup match of all, because Cristo Fernandez is expected to make his Locomotive debut. It's been a long road back after what the athlete-turned-actor-turned-athlete again thought were career-ending knee injuries suffered as a teenager in Mexico. But after a conversation with Junior Gonzalez when both were in Los Angeles and a lot of hard work, Fernandez may be on the verge of making football his life once again. Will Cristo Fernandez turn Hollywood dreams into reality? Can Locomotive FC find the wild card needle in the League Cup haystack? We'll find out next.
Car wreck and suddenly someone calls you offering legal help?
That's not a coincidence. They bought your information.
They're runners. It's illegal for them to contact you like that.
Don't trust anyone who calls you out of nowhere.
You have the right to choose who represents you. Don't be fooled by solicitors.
Call us for a free, no-obligation consultation. Choose local.
Choose Lovett & Murray.
If you've been injured, call Lovett & Murray right now.
Get ready for a night of non-stop action at Paso Speedway Park. Feel the adrenaline as drivers push their limits, battling for the top spot on our fast and challenging track. Whether you're cheering from the stands or enjoying the great food and drinks, there's excitement around every corner. Bring the whole family and experience the energy of live racing. Gates open at 5 and the green flag drops at 7:30. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets today at VotospeedwayPark.com. That's VotospeedwayPark.com. We'll race you here.
The world is watching. In this game, there are no sidelines. Every role is critical. Every move matters. It takes a team that knows how to score big. This isn't a game for everyone. But if you're built for it, visit westerntech.edu and get your future on today. Don't give up. Rise up at Western Tech, college for the real world.
Mesa Trophies and Plaques is the place to go when you want to congratulate, recognize, or honor that special someone. Whether it's sports, office professionals, teachers, police, first responders, anyone who deserves a trophy, plaque, or special creation, Mesa Trophies and Plaques can get the job done. Mesa Trophies and Plaques, honoring and serving El Paso and the borderlands since 1978. Call 532-6466 or stop by 1515 Wyoming.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park, a look in central El Paso from here in downtown El Paso. Beautiful Fort Bliss, Texas, and the El Paso International Airport as we are ready for Prinx Tire's USL Cup action. Duke Keith along with Joe Rodriguez. Let's take a look at the Locomotive starting lineup and kind of going for it. Rubio Rubin, Diego Abitia up front. That's a lot of speed, a lot of pace to handle. And, of course, in the back, all eyes on Blake Gillingham, on loan from Houston Dynamo. For New Mexico United, you've got to say that Dennis Sanchez going for it as well. The 2 goal scorers from last weekend, Zico Bailey, along with Christian Nava in the starting lineup. And, well, that is the way things are shaking out here in El Paso as Chris Shakes gets the nod in goal for New Mexico United. We are just about ready for referee Jeremy Shear to blow and start things off in this USL Cup game, this Prinx Tires USL Cup game, the 23rd edition of the Derby del Camino Real underway. Joe, it's a pleasure to have you back in the booth with me tonight. And it's a couple of teams on the outside looking in of the Prinx Tires USL Cup.
Thank you very much, Duke, for having me. It's a pleasure to be back here at Southwest University Park after almost a month break that we've been in this booth.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's a must-win situation for both of these teams here at Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso. With a little help, they don't completely control their destiny, but the first matter at hand is getting this win in 90 minutes.
Of course, all eyes on the Charleston game. Battery taking on Charlotte. They're in Charleston. That game actually scheduled to kick 30 minutes after hours on the East Coast. Maybe something for the World Cup. But here's Rubio Rubin, a nice feed from Torres. Rubin tries the inlet pass, and that is cut off. Kept in play by New Mexico United. United in that classic yellow jersey. Good effort there by Locomotive to win the ball back. Solid work by Daniel Gomez, who gets a touch. It's back to Palermo Ortiz along with Tony Alfaro. That is a veteran back line for Locomotive.
Absolutely. Palermo is coming from a situation where he struggled at the beginning of the season, injuries, limited minutes, to getting back into form here for what essentially I guess we could call this part of the year, this part of the season, about the halfway point, starting the second half of the season.
Yes.
I know Junior Gonzalez kind of alluded to that when addressing the media over the course of this week, Duke.
Happy to have healthy bodies. Jimmy Farcarlin on the bench for Locomotive. It's the first time in a couple of months that we've seen Jimmy. But, of course, all eyes on number 91, Cristo Fernandez, who is getting his first run out as a professional soccer player once again, or soccer football, as he likes to say.
Absolutely. We'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that in the first couple of minutes of this telecast. The attention that the addition of Fernandez has brought to the Borderland team is rather unique, and it's exciting to be able to live through that.
Deon Harris winning a corner for United here in the early going as we see Junior Gonzalez. Locomotive winners on the road. They have found their game on the road more than once, and they certainly did in Las Vegas last weekend. New Mexico over 14,000 at the Lab for a July 4th game.
That is impressive.
Trying to weave something. Deon Harris into the mixer. Locomotive and Abitia able to get a foot to that.
Also, Duke, with regards to the New Mexico United, obviously undefeated in their last 6 matches coming into tonight. 7 if you count the exhibition game against the newly minted Mexico First Division side Atlante FC.
Atlanta breaking in. Now, that's a process because there is no more promotion relegation in Liga MX, correct?
Yeah, it's just a matter of someone opening up the checkbook and making it happen.
Okay.
That's another conversation for another day, though.
Indeed. Quesada trying to cross it in. Locomotive winning themselves a corner. Good work on the left side, Gabi Torres. It was interesting in the absence of Amando Moreno, who is also on the bench today for Locomotive. Rubin in Las Vegas kind of played Moreno's position out left a number of times, but as Junior Gonzalez says, he's got a lot of players who can play a lot of different places all over the pitch.
Yeah, and he certainly knows how to utilize that, that variation that this roster allows him, Duke.
It'll be Quesada to bring in the corner. Foul in the box.
Immediate foul. No hesitation there by Jeremy Shearer, tonight's head referee, center referee. He blew that whistle when the ball had just barely left the foot of the Locomotive player.
Our referee is Jeremy Shearer. The assistant refs, Joe Sikoski, Logan Reeves. Jorge Medina is our fourth. We'll get to the Casa keys to the match and what Joe's looking for tonight for your Casa Auto Group keys to this key matchup. If either of these teams has any hope of advancing in the Prinx Tires USL Cup.
Well, Duke, in order for the keys to the game tonight for El Paso Locomotive, they got to play a clean match. In the Prinx matches, the Locos have committed 43 fouls. 6 of those fouls have been yellow cards and 1 red. Another point is they got to keep the pressure on defense. El Paso Locomotive are starting off today with a new goalkeeper, Blake Gillingham, on loan from Houston Dynamo. Locos need to help ease him in by not allowing free runs and clean shots of goal. Tonight's communication between Gillingham and that back line is going to be vital. Gillingham's been here for about a week, and he already gets to start tonight, so that can complicate things a little bit for Locomotive. And finally, as far as on the offensive side, stay hot in the second half. In 2026, the Locomotive have done most of its damage after halftime, scoring 20 goals in the second half compared to 15 in the first, with 2 more coming in stoppage time at home. The club has been particularly dangerous coming out of the break, with 6 of its 9 scored between 46th and 60th minute on threat, netting 9 of its 11 goals after the 60th minute. And we're talking about breaks here. We got hydration breaks here.
We do. It is warm in El Paso, so we will have hydration breaks in the first and second half, from what we understand. Bone of contention in the FIFA World Cup to no end. Breaking it up for quarters, and those hydration breaks last a good 3 minutes. I think it's just a couple of minutes here in the USL.
If that, it seems like sometimes.
Right.
And, of course, for both of those hydration breaks, we will stay here, continuing the coverage.
Yeah, right. we don't have quite the inventory to run.
Which I think has also been a big point of criticism when it comes to this World Cup.
Well, especially Fox's first foray, which saw them getting back late from a break. Well, they took no end of abuse for that. But that's was the very first one, I think.
Yeah, growing pains there a little bit.
Right. Here as we enter the 8th minute in Southwest University Park, Locomotive and New Mexico United. That was a shaky header back from Nico Hamalainen. Chris Shakes handling it quite well, coming out before Diego Abitia was able to take advantage. And New Mexico United with the ball. Usman Jabang.
Both teams playing with a very marked 4-man defensive line.
Cagey in the opening minutes here tonight.
Yeah, typical derby match where both teams feeling themselves out here in the opening minutes. I don't expect that to last for more than 10-15 minutes here.
Our first prediction from Joe tonight. Let's see. You're on the clock, buddy. Locomotive trying to continue the winning ways. It's every game's important, obviously, in a League Cup where the odds are kind of stacked against you that you're going to advance to the next round. Is Gillingham. That was good pressure by New Mexico United.
Kept his cool there. That's good to see. Handling the ball well with his feet.
Grady Gilchrist up to provide the pressure.
Came off his line significantly, and he still maintained cool here. Gillingham highly touted with his run over at Houston, MLS side.
Goalkeeper of the future from what we understand. So
yeah.
They've had some good ones, that's for sure. Just say that was Archimede, not Gillingham, but Archimede there to provide the presence. And the shot parried away on the other side by Shakes. Abithia.
First real threat on goal by Abithia. He gets the ball on a run, doesn't hesitate to pull the trigger on it. Shot on goal. First real threat here under the 10-minute mark.
That was a good thought for a dummy pass up the right wing by Gomez, but it will roll out into touch for New Mexico United. Let's do a little Beasley and Mitchell company crunching the numbers. Beasley, Mitchell and Company, the number for tonight is 5. Locomotive, 5 goals in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Locomotive looking to pour it on. Plenty of goals tonight because the first tiebreaker to see who advances as the wild card is going to be goals for. As a matter of fact, goal differential isn't even down to like third on the list. So if you pour in plenty, if we can have a 6-5 game, and as long as Locomotive's got the 6, it's going to be good for El Paso or New Mexico.
Absolutely, yeah. And then, of course, this result will also be directly tied into what happens over on the East Coast in Charleston, South Carolina.
Right. They're still 15 minutes away from kickoff. Very late in Charleston. Here's Shakes. That is shaky indeed. Trying to feed it up, and Locomotive was right there, but unfortunately for Gomez, not able to find anybody. Daniel Gomez has been on the ball quite a bit for Locomotive here in the early going. Nicolas Cardona playing right wing, right back. Good switch of play. Not quite on target. Gabi Torres does well to run it down. Trying to hold off the defender. All the way back to Gillingham. When in doubt, boot it over the top.
Steer clear of any kind of danger.
Sure.
Which is something that, with more time passes, something I don't mind seeing, you know. Just when
trying
in
to play
doubt,
out of the back has its own issues, doesn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes the expectation, or shall we say the demand, might be a little bit too much for the skill set of any particular given player that plays in the defensive zone. Complicate things immediately. You saw that a couple of times here a few hours ago in the England match.
True enough. Throw in for Locomotive. Reminder that you can enter the Prinx Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. There we see Blake Gillingham. So what you need to do if you want to enter the Prinx Tires USL Cup Sweepstakes is scan that QR code that you see at the bottom of the screen. Enter today. Switch of play. Too tall for Gabi Torres. Could tell Cardona wants to hit that switch ball, and it just hasn't come off just yet.
Yeah, he also had a man going down his right side. Made a run through. I think it might have been a little bit of a better option than Gabi Torres was to crossing the ball. Bit of a break there for New Mexico United as the defender kind of just felt a little flat-footed and found the ground on that. Tripped himself up. Fortunately for the Locomotive, the pass was a little bit too long.
It'll come to Christian Nava. That's a good centering ball. A little too awkward for Dayon Harris to handle cleanly. Christian Nava, what a story. That kid scored his first USL Championship goal last week in that 2-1 win over Oakland. Here's a kid that after the opening game of the 2023 season suffered a torn ACL, tore it again before the 2024 season, took last year off completely. It's been 3 years, but the Albuquerque native back in black and yellow. Perseverance.
Absolutely, quite the story to tell. Also, Duke, for the Locomotive, we do have to mention a couple of notable absences on the bench for El Paso here today, or just making the start, the 18-man call-up. I'll get to you right now.
Right. That's a good bit of carrying by Dayon Harris. Lays it back, Jabang. Making moves. A good flick, Locomotive getting ahead to that to try and clear the danger. Carl Sainty. Back from his journey with the Haitian national team at the FIFA World Cup. I know Junior Gonzalez happy to have him back. I'm sure Carl would like to have stayed around a little longer.
Yeah, I'm sure living a couple of more days of the World Cup experience in the middle of summer is something any player could go for, right?
Yes. But you were talking about the absences.
Yes, no, absolutely. We got informed here. Notable absence, team captain Eric Calvillo out tonight. He didn't dress. Apparently, he felt a little something, and the coaching staff for the Locomotive decided he was a no-go for today. And then also Noah Dolenmeyer feeling a little bit of a health issue there unexpectedly. So hopefully, we'll see those players up and at them next week when the El Paso Locomotive return to USL Championship League play.
On the road at FC Tulsa, a pretty demanding game. That is 1 week from tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a game that I circled around the calendar early in the season for the way things went down when they came here to Southwest University Park.
Torres, well intercepted here, Sainty. He'll have a go. That's deflected. That's going to be a goal kick. Looked like it was deflected.
I would have to agree with you on that one.
As it came off his foot, Carl not protesting too much, so goal kick it is for Chris Shakes.
Chris Shakes, Duke, we were talking before we came on the air about his recent form. Only allowed 2 goals in the last 6 matches. That's quite the performance for the experienced goalkeeper for New Mexico United.
Impressive. Well, that is well taken. Solid work by Archimede. Curls one in, that is lifted out. Gabi Torres getting back. Malik Howell with a touch back to Kip Keller.
Archimede making his presence felt, Duke, here in the opening going. We were notified moments before we came on the air that it was a late substitution to the starting 11, or a late modification, shall I say.
Sure.
Archimede apparently making the most of this starting opportunity.
Coming together, it will be, looks to be out for a corner. Quesada tangling there with Greg Hurst, the team captain. Quesada, of course, the game-winning goal on the road in Las Vegas. His first in USL Cup play, or USL League action, actually.
And that was a goal, too. No hesitation by Quesada on that run.
Heck of a strike.
Put it exactly where he wanted it to.
Nava, they'll start by playing it short. Back to Nava. Curls one in, far post. Trying to get ahead to that is Kip Keller. Foul on United. Keller a little too physical, perhaps leaning in.
Yeah, he was in coy in that sequence right there.
He was not. Turn to CBS on Saturday, July 18th for a USL Championship Eastern Conference showdown. Last season's champion, Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC, head-to-head with the 2025 Players' Shield winner, Louisville City, a must-watch match of the summer. One of the must-watch matches of the summer. 2 elite clubs, one massive stage. Don't miss a minute of the action on CBS at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, July 18th.
We have plenty of elite watching matches in the Western Conference myself, if I may say so myself, Duke.
Every match, because everybody's so tight. I mean, you look at the Western Conference standings, and Locomotive, though they are just back in the playoff picture, only 2 points out of third place. Here's something awkward. Palermo Ortiz. That is kept well. Archimede tries one. First save of his Locomotive career, Blake Gillingham. Handling it cleanly.
Yeah, Archimede there could have had a little bit more time to take in the shot. Could have possibly inched up a little bit closer. Decided to have a go from it there. Shots on goal, shots on target. It's kind of what you want in the early going, Duke. I mean, you got to test. You always have to test your goalkeeper. You never know what can happen. Just put the ball in play, and it's definitely better than just kind of whiffing it well over the goal.
Heck of an effort again by Dayon Harris.
A little bit of lapse of concentration right there by the El Paso Locomotive player. Quick turnover, quick offensive counterattack sequence taking place right there.
Harris has been a threat with the ball on his foot more than once, and certainly created that opportunity for Archimede. Chipped forward, Alfaro, long ball out of the back. Well done, Abithia. Good job by Kip Keller. Wins the battle on the ball.
It's good to see Abithia there. He's moving from side to side there on that offensive line. He's asking for the ball. He wants touches. That's good to see. With every passing game, I think Abithia, you're seeing that confidence in what it is, that he's believing more in his ability and what he can do, and he can be a difference maker, Duke.
Awkward clearance comes straight to Locomotive and Gabi Torres. Both teams with some opportunities here in the early going, but nobody has been able to sneak one through. And again, both of these teams need goals in order to advance to the next round as the wild card in the Prinx Tires USL Cup.
The pace, the intensity of the match is elevating after the 15-minute mark.
Look at you. Okay, yes. You were on the clock, and once again, Super Joe comes through. That's a little too tall for Christian Nava. Eighth Notch making their presence felt. The sunshine is yet to fade away in section 105. These guys are in full sun, but always standing throughout the entire match.
Always welcoming too, Duke. I mean, the caveat is you're going to have to stand up in that section, but
right.
Everyone is always welcome into section to the Eighth Notch section without a doubt, and that's good to see. I can't tell you how many people have lived that experience. 90 minutes, always fun with the Eighth Notch.
It's a great thought. Harris, though, cutting off Abithia's pass. It's actually Chris Gloucester.
Interesting call there by the center referee. That looked a little bit like a handball there.
A free kick coming, though, as we are into the 22nd minute in El Paso, and there is section 105. The man they call Big Hat still has yet to take off the red, white, and blue, but that's okay. This is America after all.
And it's America Day here at Southwest University Park for tonight's match. That is tonight's theme.
Along with 1,500 Aussie bobblehead giveaways.
I still haven't checked one out like in person.
Those look pretty solid, man.
I need to
see if they've got any left in the vault.
Check those out.
There's a foul free kick coming for Locomotive. We'll reach in on Rubin.
Definitely got to be a first warning kind of foul there on that one. One more, and I don't think he could get away with it without receiving a yellow card.
Here is Alfaro. Tried to lift it over. Good job of bouncing it off of Nava, though, for the throw. Nava not the biggest guy, but here's a good piece of work by Gabi Torres. Torres snaking one through. It's lifted back out by Kip Keller. Danger not over for New Mexico United. Archimede trying to help things out. Usman Jabang. And finally, they'll just lift it long. Right back in by Palermo Ortiz. Jabang. Slips one in for Zico Bailey.
Just momentary high block for El Paso Locomotive right now is kind of getting a little bit of the best of New Mexico United. And just
They've
as I say that, they
well.
break through.
Yep. Here is the breakthrough, and Dayon Harris on the left wing. Harris the drop. Here's Hurst, the Scotsman, trying to weave his way through. Good job. Palermo Ortiz knew where he was headed. Over the top. Rubin shakes us off his line. Rubin New Mexico, a good job getting back. Rubin Abitia. He draws a crowd. Back to Rubio Rubin. Rubin! Straight at Chris Shakes. Oh, that was a mess for New Mexico United.
Rubin ran out of real estate a little bit there on that initial breakaway. That last touch, the ball just kind of didn't cooperate with him, so that he can get in position to take a shot. He had to slow down and let for the rest of the El Paso Locomotives to join in on the attack. Still, you get a shot on goal. Another threat on goal for our El Paso Locomotive.
Things are heating up. Rubin again. Takes it. Why not? And we have our first half hydration break. Rubin doesn't miss, but it is over the bar just enough. Chris Shakes almost wanted to touch it, and alligator armed back.
We both saw the same thing. That's having a good sense of goal right there. He read the trajectory on that ball perfectly. That's a whole lot of confidence not to say, you know what, let me just make sure I punch it out.
It's spinning the right way. I don't know what Chris Shakes saw to not touch it, but we would have been playing a corner kick before the hydration break as it is. Into the Hydro Flask hydration break here in El Paso. So let's take a look at the Prinx Tires USL Cup standings in Group 2. This is where Locomotive is. Of course, winning its first 3 matches has sewn up the top spot for Colorado Springs Switchbacks. All of the group winners advance to the next round, all 7 of the group winners, plus the next best record or goal-scoring record if everybody's tied. So New Mexico United has the slight edge on Locomotive going into this match based on goals for. It's 6-5. Locomotive has scored 5. New Mexico United has scored 6. Therefore, United holds second place. But again, both of these teams are in need of goals. I mean, I don't think that the coaches would like a 6-5 game too much, but the crowd certainly would, and it would do everybody a world of good in this particular search for getting out of Group 2. There's a man, big hat. Got his USA Baseball jersey on as well. I don't know how he had, obviously he's got the flag, but he's got one for Locomotive. I see him at El Paso Rhinos hockey games.
Wearing Rhinos big hats, or
Yeah,
according to?
He's got a Rhinos hat. There's Banana Jr. I think we saw the Banana Man up in Las Vegas. Good crowd of El Pasoans here to watch their team.
Reacting to being on the big screen.
Good contingent of traveling supporters, and there indeed the Believe sign is up and out. Here at Southwest University Park, Cristo Fernandez on the bench tonight. We do expect to see him at some point in the second half.
I'll tell you what, that sign that she's holding, if she could somehow figure out a way to meet Cristo and have him autograph that, that's one heck of a piece of memorabilia.
That is a great collectible.
Oh, absolutely.
They do sell them, I know that. I just made one.
Well, we got to get that one
like in the series. That's what I did.
We got to get that one autographed for the booth, most definitely.
Right.
I think we can.
We might be able to swing that.
Yeah.
That may go into a frame. It's just a manila folder. That's all it was. Manila envelope.
I think I'll get on the internet and see if I can get that sign.
Very nice. Good crowd of New Mexico United fans. We're hearing about 40, 45 or so from the different supporter sections. Shout out to Chris Walker with the Black Diamonds. Galactic they've got like a whole bunch of supporters groups for New Mexico United. Galactic Ambassadors, Delta Tau Redondo. That would be a fraternity I'd like to join. Sector 114. And a shout out to the Black Diamonds there at Lasso Brewing in Albuquerque watching along tonight.
You know, and I'm surprised they haven't taken over. Their attendance is always very noticeable in the upper section here of El Paso Locomotive, Southwest University Park.
Sure. Of course, these two teams will be back at it in league action on October the 24th. The last game of the regular season will be here in El Paso. I don't know if that was a dummy pass. I think that was a swing and a miss. They're in the middle by Archimede, and it allows Locomotive to run into the ball. Again, long out of the back. Labitia appreciates the effort.
What a way to close out the season against your biggest rival, right?
I know Locomotive fans have been looking for some kind of game like that to close out a season for a while. So very happy to see that here in the 2026 season.
3 home matches over the span of 3 weeks, 3 consecutive Saturdays. That's a great way to end the season.
Here is Quesada. Swings his way loose in the middle. Sainty decides to not have a go. Gives off to Rubin. Rubin trying to cross, looking for a handball. Nothing called. Didn't look like one from up here.
Nothing blatant from our angle.
Locomotive's pressure, though. They choose their times to go after it, don't they? Junior Gonzalez doesn't like to press constantly, but Locomotive knows how to pick their moments.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Duke. And obviously, we just dipped under the triple-digit mark right now, shortly after shortly before kickoff. So yeah, you definitely have to be cognizant of the fact of how you're gonna spend your energy on that high block. But no, Duke, you were talking about the great soccer culture. We were talking about it before we came on the air in Albuquerque. All of the supporters group, sending my best from over here and in the borderland, and hopefully things work out for that organization so that they can get their stadium.
That would be a lovely thing. State Fair Park. We'll see. Here's Nava earning a corner off of Diaby Torres. Well done by the Albuquerquean. It's been talked about downtown. That didn't work. Talked about at Balloon Fiesta Park. That didn't work. State Fair Park, I don't think anybody can have any complaints. That's its own contained area. So, best of fortunes to the good folks at New Mexico United. Locomotive certainly with Vice President and GM Mike DiGiulio talking about their own soccer-specific stadium. Nava to deliver the corner here. Outswinging ball, and that is lifted up and over the bar. Falling away from that is Archimede. He got ahead to it. And a little worse for wear coming out of the scrum.
Yeah, it came down a little awkward there.
It's actually Malik Howell.
On the attempted header. Here we see on the replay. Yeah, it just came down.
Bounced.
Yeah, it came down a little bit unstable there on that right foot. Walking it off. Should be okay. Be able to continue.
Malik Howell, one of the defenders, taking his place back on the wing now, but up certainly for the set piece.
Good intensity there by the Locomotive to get bodies on the ball or in the area of the ball and jumping, looking intense, not making it any easy for New Mexico United to get a clean head on the ball, as was the case that we saw there.
Little misplay, goes out for another corner, and here's Nava again. New Mexico United, I believe this is their 4th corner and 2nd in rapid succession. Nava's delivered some dangerous balls. And here is Nava. Goes far post and clears it all the way to the other side, but it's picked up by Harris. Lifted out for another corner kick. Palermo Ortiz, the Mexican veteran. What a presence, a man who's worn the colors of his country in Mexico. Part of some stellar Liga MX teams in the past, and of course came to El Paso from Locomotive sister club in Ciudad Juarez, Bravos.
Who start their season next Friday against Puebla.
Already? Goodness gracious. Well, it's time, isn't it?
On the Friday eve before the World Cup final.
That's interesting. Harris to get this one in swinging ball. Did Ortiz touch it? He did not.
Not touched by the Locomotive player.
Nope.
Overruled?
Looks like it might be overruled. New Mexico United certainly saying that they believe Ortiz touched it, and indeed that seems to be the call. The assistant referee signaled throw in for Locomotive. And our center referee tonight, Mr. Shear, decided that was not the case. So a long throw in coming, and once again, here is Malik Howell. You be the judge. Long throw to the center of the box that is headed. Zico Bailey on that far side. Really couldn't get it under control. Archimede in there as well.
It looked like Bailey misjudged his jump on that as the ball was coming down to his area. A little bit of a break there for Locomotive. He seemed to have his defender, the man that was marking him, beat.
Shakes out of the back. Good tap back by Nicolas Cardona.
We have a little bit more than 10 minutes left in this match. Match that's developed into a bit of a seesaw, Duke.
It has gone back and forth.
With both teams spending several moments in the offensive third trying to make something happen.
Everybody's had a crack, haven't they?
Yeah.
Nobody's been able to sneak one by. Here's Ortiz wearing the captain's armband for Locomotive.
And I think what we can say for this first half, Duke, is that the games did develop naturally. I don't think any team's trying to go get the match or trying to, let them, sit back and see what happens. I think it's just a very nice flow to this match in the opening 35 minutes.
Abitia draws the contact and the foul. And a word of warning for Malik Howell. Abitia, not the easiest guy to put on the turf. He's not going to go down easily, but a little shove with the trip will send the former San Luis youth product to the pitch. Alfaro Ortiz. Carl Sainty takes the space. Nice give and go. Up it comes Rubin. Dishes. Torres trying to center that one. Well dealt with, but now the danger cleared. Nava there to help it out.
Partial whiff there. Didn't get all of it to have a full clearance on that ball.
Sainty's been positive, but he doesn't have a lot of confidence to take the shot, and this one's stolen away. They're in that left wing side. Chris Gloucester. Cardona's going to go over the top. That's the right pass, but maybe too much. Chris shakes there to make sure Quesada stays safely at a distance.
Shakes quick right there to jump off his line there to intercept that long ball.
Up it comes to Harris. Harris plays a beautiful ball forward, and it's touched just wide. Did Gillingham get a piece?
Yes, he did.
He did. Beautiful pass to Archimede, but excellent job coming off his line, and Blake Gillingham showing us why he is here in El Paso.
Stellar run by Archimede there. New Mexico did a good job of separating those two center backs, talking about Alfaro, and Palermo, yes. Yeah. Excuse me, Palermo Ortiz. They separated. Palermo wandered off a little bit too much. There was a nice little route right there. Archimede didn't hesitate. He ran it. They fed him the ball.
Leon Harris again, dangerous. Nava, dangerous and in. That is another corner coming up as that is off of Nicolas Cardona's head. If the counter is right, I think this is the 7th corner kick for New Mexico United this half. We've just entered the 38th minute.
Cardona right there with a tough assignment, marking Jabang there. Luckily, that was a mid-flight corner kick that Cardona was able to get to.
Nava centers that one, headed out by Abitia. That'll be run down by Gloucester. And back to Shakes. Here is Torres, hooks one over. Rubin. Well dealt with Alfaro into the middle for Sainty. The Haitian trying to get some space, but he has his pocket picked. It's a great job in the middle by Zico Bailey. And United draws the free kick.
Little overreach there by Sainty. Makes contact with the New Mexico United player. Player goes down. Simple call for Shear to make.
Si se puede is the chance. Both of these teams are showing that they can plenty. As nobody's been able to get that last ball. Good thought for Archimede, but well covered by Alfaro. That is a bad pass. The giveaway and having a go. Gillingham gets the touch. Palermo Ortiz clears it away.
Zero hesitation right there by Ortiz. He had two attacking players right at his back coming towards him. Doesn't think twice, decides to kick it out of bounds on the save by Gillingham.
That was Zico Bailey who found himself with a nice prize, and that one's headed wide by Archimede. So a goal kick for Locomotive, and Blake Gillingham probably called on a little more than he'd like to be, along with that El Paso defense, but so far so good for the back line.
Archimede is having quite the opening half on minimal notification that he was going to get to start. He's definitely becoming a storyline in this game.
Archimede subbed in from the starting lineup for Justin Renix. Not sure if something in pregame warmups precipitated that, but he has done well. A reminder that this Monday, July 12th at 11 a.m. Mountain, the Prinx Tires USL Cup Knockout Draw quarterfinals show is going on. USL's Dan Lucas, broadcast analyst Devin Kerr will select the matchups from the 7 group winners and the 1 wild card. Will one of these teams be that wild card? We'll find out. That's again Monday at 11 o'clock, live on the USL YouTube channel.
Definitely tune into that.
41st minute, no score between either of these teams. Again, the more goals they score, the better off their chances will be. Depending on what happens in Charleston. Both of these teams just needing a result in that game. Nice. It goes to penalties, they split the points, and that's no good. Nice ball! Abithia just over the bar! Oh, that was a beautiful ball out of the back, and Abithia knows he should have put that in.
Closest call of the match for either team here with less than 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Quesada put it on a platter.
It looks like they're on the replay. Abithia doesn't know if he should head it on goal or go ahead and recenter it back to somebody else making the run. Didn't go either way. It went well over the crossbar, but there a little bit of that indecision might have marked the biggest difference in that effort.
Don't be of two minds. Here comes the Locomotive pressure. Will it yield the ball? Loose. Good help. New Mexico survives that. Here's Deon Harris. The sure feet of Harris. Too much. And it's out for a Locomotive throw. Of course, as soon as I say the sure feet of Harris, he puts it out for a throw. The narrow of course, both of these teams play on converted baseball pitches.
I'm sure they're more than used to the nuance of that.
Here is Coronado. Alfaro. Seems like Eighth Notch is kind of sensing something. The chance of ramped up in intensity. We are entering the 43rd minute. Neither team's been able to break the other down. You have to say New Mexico's probably had the better of the chances so far. But Locomotive has had their opportunities too. As Coronado earns the foul from Greg Hurst. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship, from the grassroots to the pros. Select there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Alfaro rolls a nice one up into the middle for Rubin. Played into space. Cardona. Working against Harris. Cardona gets the byline. That pass is picked out. Good job by Gloucester to cover. Locomotive throw.
I thought Cardona was going to work the ball a little bit more towards the goal. As soon as he gets the clear right there off the end line, decides to center it. Intercepted by the New Mexico United defender.
Sainty! Oh, to the far post. Another beautiful ball. Headed wide by Rubin, and the flag is up. We are hearing 3 minutes of MacBid stoppage time. We'll see if we get there. We're 90 seconds or so away from it. Here is Chris Shakes. Not the biggest keeper, but you pointed out, he's only let in 2 goals. In the last number of matches for United, that one sliced away, though, and it'll be a Locomotive throw.
I'm sure that was far from his intended target.
I don't think he wanted to put it there. That's scuffed. Gillingham out to meet it. Boy, both teams having their issues trying to get the ball to do what they wanted to do off their feet. And another bad pass. That one's picked off by Gloucester. Into the middle.
Yeah, both defensive lines have to be careful with that, because with the quality of players that they have offensively, that the opposing team has offensively, they're like sharks, man. They'll blood in the water. That
Junior
area.
Gonzalez with some words of advice for Alvaro Quesada.
I talk about how Abithia's made himself a presence here in this first half, Duke. Asking for the ball. He's gotten plenty of touches. On the flip side of that coin, Quesada's been a little bit quiet today. Usually more of a troublemaker on that offensive third.
Out of the back, it's a good ball out because Nava's there to wrangle it back. Jabang throws one in. That is kissed nicely off the forehead of Archimede, but it's wide. And the offside flag goes up anyway. Beautiful thought by Nava, and again, Archimedes. Everybody's had their dangerous moments, but nobody's been able to settle the ball in the back of the other's net. Here's Gillingham. Out of San Jose. Good bounce here, Sainty trying to get that corralled. Never really settled down. Archimede pocket picked by Alfaro. Coronado, Carl Sainty. Good reset here to Rubin out on the left.
Playing to the 48th minute, less than a couple of minutes to go. Let's see if the Locomotive can have another threat on goal here before this first half is done.
3 minutes of Mac.bid stoppage time. That's a deflection again, New Mexico. Stripping the ball in the midfield. They've been pretty solid at that here in this opening half. Ortiz. Gomez, slow roller to Sainty. Nice job. Gomez running forward. Off to the right. Abithia trying to line one up. Off of Shakes. Out for a corner. Had to take the touch back to try and get the open shot on the left foot. Chris Shakes up to the task.
Takes that shot a little bit off balance. Duke doesn't get anything on it. Best he can do is just shoot it on goal. And, of course, Shakes well positioned right there. It's interesting to see. We talk about Shakes having good judgment on that previous shot from a distance, doesn't touch it. That one might have just flown the goal without him touching it. But still.
Hamalainen did a good job to make Abithia think twice about that and pull it back. Here is Quesada. Locomotive to the far post, headed to the other side by Ortiz.
Once again, Duke, I believe I talked about it last game. It was one of the themes that the last home game that we worked. A lot of the players, the Locomotive doing a better job developing and getting the ball into play in the midsection of the offensive third on diagonal runs, making runs and making through ball passes on with high effectiveness. We're starting to see that again tonight.
The 2-week mental health break probably couldn't have come at a better time for Locomotive. And of course, back on the road, where they have done the majority of their damage, did it again. The 2-1 win over Las Vegas Lights. And that is the end of our first half. Right after the kick is Shanks another one, but it matters not. First touch of the ball, that'll end the half. No score here in downtown El Paso in this Prinx Tigers USL Cup match. The last of the first round. We'll see if either one of these sides has anything past that in the USL Cup. As we continue from Southwest University Park, Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 0.
Get ready for a night of non-stop action at Paso Speedway Park. Feel the adrenaline as drivers push their limits, battling for the top spot on our fast and challenging track. Whether you're cheering from the stands or enjoying the great food and drinks, there's excitement around every corner. Bring the whole family and experience the energy of live racing. Gates open at 5 and the green flag drops at 7:30. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets today at VotospeedwayPark.com. That's VotospeedwayPark.com. We'll race you here.
Ready to build a rewarding trucking career? Join Arrivas Enterprises. Our experienced support team is here to guide you every mile of the way. Apply in person or online. Enjoy competitive pay, full benefits, flexible schedules, and consistent high-quality miles you can count on. Drive with a company that values professionalism, respect, and a strong community of drivers. Drive for the best. Drive for Arrivas.
I'm Rob Lovett.
And I'm Russell Murray.
You're a trusted local law firm serving the city of Las Cruces for over 20 years. The insurance companies do not have your best interest in mind when offering a settlement.
Before dealing with your insurance company, you need to know your rights and your options. Lovett & Murray Law Firm is proud to represent and help the people of this community.
Call the Lovett & Murray Law Firm today.
How do I pick a body shop?
When selecting a body shop to repair your vehicle, the last thing you want to do is worry about scams. At Sergio Lewis Body Shop, we offer lifetime warranty and we honor all insurance estimates.
What do I need to watch out for?
Be careful with telemarketers who will promise you the moon. With almost 40 years in business, we are committed to you, the customer. And remember, it's your choice by law, not the insurance company on where you want to take your vehicle.
USL Cup. Built for practical performance in the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTiresUSA.com to learn more. Now let's have a look around the USL as we, once again, we'll have the quarterfinal draw Monday, July 13th. That'll be 11 o'clock Mountain Time on the USL YouTube channel. So let's have a look. Portland Hearts of Pine defeating New York Cosmos in penalties. Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2-0 over Loudoun. Miami FC all over Sarasota 5-0. Detroit defeating their opponent tonight, Fort Wayne FC 2-1. Richmond Kickers 2-1 over Greenville, and a 2-1 final Hartford over Westchester. They're in Hartford, Connecticut. As for the one that we're really keeping an eye on, it's just, well, actually, let's see. Yeah, no score between Charleston Battery and the Charlotte Independents of the Championship and League One, respectively. In the Western Conference, I can tell you Athletic Club Boise 1-0 over Sacramento Republic FC. So we take a look at the standings in Group 2 again. Switchbacks, by virtue of being 3-0, is already wrapped up. First place in Group 2. Them, along with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, the only teams to have wrapped up that top spot, followed by United, followed by Locomotive. These two teams battling here at Southwest University Park, the only two out of Group 2 that really have an opportunity to advance with that wild card spot. But again, they need goals and they need help around the rest of the league tonight. That's a look at your Prinx Tigers USL Cup standings. Now let's send it to Dan Lucas for the halftime show.
It is halftime in the Prinx Tigers USL Cup. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines. Last week in the championship, New Mexico United extended its league unbeaten streak to 5 matches with a 2-1 victory over Oakland Roots in front of more than 14,800 fans the fourth largest crowd in franchise history. New Mexico's Christian Nava scored his first goal since the 2022 season, a remarkable comeback for a player that battled through 2 knee injuries over a 2-year period. Tonight, we close out group play in the Prinx Tires USL Cup, and 8 clubs will head to the quarterfinals. You can watch that quarterfinal draw on the USL's YouTube channel on Monday the 13th at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. USL is also gearing up for a national TV audience on Saturday the 18th. The title holders in the championship, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, host last season's Player Shield winners, Louisville City. That's a noon Eastern kickoff on CBS. And 2 more matches on CBS Sportsnet, Sporting Jacks and Pittsburgh on the 15th. 2 days later, it's AC Boise and Portland Hearts of Pine. This is the USL Studio Halftime Update. I'm Dan Lucas. Now let's get you back out to your match. Two champions loaded with USL history. Louisville City raised last year's Players' Shield, but the Pittsburgh Riverhounds took home the USL title. Contenders collide. Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Louisville City, Saturday, July 18th at noon Eastern on CBS.
Prinx tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinx tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
How do I pick a body shop?
When selecting a body shop to repair your vehicle, the last thing you want to do is worry about scams. At Sergio Lewis Body Shop, we offer lifetime warranty and we honor all insurance estimates.
What do I need to watch out for?
Be careful with telemarketers who will promise you the moon. With almost 40 years in business, we are committed to you, the customer. And remember, it's your choice by law, not the insurance company on where you want to take your vehicle.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Another beautiful Southwest sunset happening live with us in downtown El Paso. Duke Keith and Joe Rodriguez with you, Locomotive FC and New Mexico United FC, 0-0 at the break. As we take a look at some of the stats from this evening. Well, corner kicks is going to be all New Mexico United. We know that. Locomotive has had a couple in this match, but 7 in the first half for New Mexico United. Both teams kind of dueling battles in terms of interceptions. 8 for Locomotive, 7 for New Mexico United. Shots on goal, Locomotive with 8. New Mexico United with 6 shots on target. That is a sneaky stat. 4-3. I thought New Mexico United had the better of the opportunities, but Locomotive has put some in. Possession favoring United, as you might expect, and of course the corners, as we pointed out, 7-2. And both teams have they've had their opportunities and made their opportunities against the other tonight, Joe.
Yeah, no, and it hasn't been you can't really call it a back and forth match, Duke. I think it's been more about moments,
yes.
With teams kind of taking control of and dominating in that offensive third. Obviously, both teams 50% efficiency as far as getting their shots on goal, which is something you want to see. Like I told you in the first half, you want to make things happen, just as we see there with Abitia.
Abitia with a couple of shots. That one certainly on target. That was the first of the match for Locomotive. Well done, Archimede. Nice turn. But Blake Gillingham on loan from Dynamo out of MLS. Making his first stop. Rubio Rubin not able to steer that one on frame for Locomotive. And I think you're absolutely right. Each team took their turn in the ascendancy. Each team took their turn taking advantage of a mistake the other made. And it's been very even that way, but we haven't had guys going up and down the field on each other all night.
Yeah, no, and obviously the flow of the game we saw there, no yellow cards, no offsides. The no offsides, that speaks volumes as to what kind of attack we're seeing from both of these teams. They're not breakaways, they're not long balls, they're not trying to go over the top. They're very systematically approaching the offensive third and staying there for moments at a time, making things happen.
Gillingham dealing with a nice ball, dipping shot from Zico Bailey. That may be the moment of the match. Quesada putting it on a platter. But Abitia, as you point out, might have been of two minds. Do I head this back across? Do I go for the shot? He goes for the shot, and it's over the bar. So that's where we stand, 0-0 at the break. We'll take another break and be back with the second half here in the Prinx Tigers USL Cup from downtown El Paso. Right after this.
Ready to build a rewarding trucking career? Join Arrivas Enterprises. Our experienced support team is here to guide you every mile of the way. Apply in person or online. Enjoy competitive pay, full benefits, flexible schedules, and consistent high-quality miles you can count on. Drive with a company that values professionalism, respect, and a strong community of drivers. Drive for the best. Drive for Arrivas.
Mesa Trophies and Plaques is the place to go when you want to congratulate, recognize, or honor that special someone. Whether it's sports, office professionals, teachers, police, first responders, anyone who deserves a trophy, plaque, or special creation, Mesa Trophies and Plaques can get the job done. Mesa Trophies and Plaques, honoring and serving El Paso and the borderlands since 1978. Call 532-6466 or stop by 1515 Wyoming.
How do I pick a body shop?
When selecting a body shop to repair your vehicle, the last thing you want to do is worry about scams. At Sergio Lewis Body Shop, we offer lifetime warranty and we honor all insurance estimates.
What do I need to watch out for?
Be careful with telemarketers who will promise you the moon. With almost 40 years in business, we are committed to you, the customer. And remember, it's your choice by law, not the insurance company on where you want to take your vehicle.
Get ready for a night of non-stop action at Paso Speedway Park. Feel the adrenaline as drivers push their limits, battling for the top spot on our fast and challenging track. Whether you're cheering from the stands or enjoying the great food and drinks, there's excitement around every corner. Bring the whole family and experience the energy of live racing. Gates open at 5 and the green flag drops at 7:30. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets today at VotospeedwayPark.com. That's VotospeedwayPark.com. We'll race you here.
Welcome back, 0-0 at the break. Once more time, a look at Fort Bliss, Texas. They're in central El Paso. Those mountains are in New Mexico. That's on the way to Cloudcroft and Ruidoso.
I was there last weekend.
Beautiful place. It's a lovely time to be there, I can tell you that, if you've been down here with a triple-digit heat. 0-0 at the break, Locomotive FC, New Mexico United, Duke Keith, and Joe Rodriguez with you. Are you looking for any changes, Joe, as we enter the second half? What do you think that Junior Gonzalez and Dennis Sanchez are going to want to see?
I think they're going to want to see just a little bit. I think right now to start the second half, you just want to see a little bit more fine-tuning as far as what you're doing on the field of play. Particularly, fair warning to both teams. You got to be more careful managing the ball on the defensive line. We've already seen a couple of just the slightest miscommunications, miscues as far as the entire line goes, or from individual players that can have turned into threats for the opposing team. Fortunately for the teams that have made those defensive miscues, it hasn't gone, it hasn't resulted in the maximum consequence, which is a goal. But yeah, definitely I think they're going to play at least a little bit, 10-15 more minutes to see the way the second half develops, and I'm sure Junior Gonzalez and the head coach for New Mexico United have already an idea as far as what adjustments they want to do when it comes to making substitutions. El Paso Locomotive have plenty of options with regards to the offensive.
Certainly. Hoban, Chimasi, Mendez, Alex Mendez on the bench tonight.
And that's one that caught my attention.
Who can fly. Wonderful to see him back in action. And of course, the man wearing number 91, who we're told is going to be into the lineup at some point tonight. 35-year-old Cristo Fernandez. Beautiful shot there as we're about ready to start things up here in the second half of play. Locomotive trying to break through and keep that momentum. New Mexico United right now has that momentum. Undefeated in their last 6 matches. And 2 wins in the bounce for United coming into this match tonight here in El Paso. Of course, Locomotive coming back to tie after falling behind 2-1 in Albuquerque in the regular season. Diego Abitia, a beautiful overhead kick to tie things late in Albuquerque. Locomotive all over United in the U.S. Open Cup match those teams played. Alex Mendez with maybe the goal of the early rounds in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Beautiful free kick shot from about 35 yards out. And there he was, Cristo Fernandez. And we are underway for the second half. New Mexico United starting with possession. Hamalainen. Nava has to chase that one down, and it's a bit of a hot potato skipped up on him.
Interesting, ironic. He loses possession on a skip, just as New Mexico United elects in the second half to go away from what is the temporary sod installed on the infield portion of this converted baseball field.
It is dry here. I'm sure that the conditions play a part in that. Usman Jabang controlling the tempo, out to Hamalainen. Chris Shakes in the reset, over to Kip Keller. Of course, as this rivalry has progressed over the 8 years that both of these teams have been in action, 8 seasons, I should say, there have been plenty from both sides who have moved on to what's next, and what's next for Daniel Bruce, a mainstay for New Mexico United, is an assistant coach's role.
Right.
Under Dennis Sanchez at United. So staying in Albuquerque, the Englishman.
Speaking of well-established players with New Mexico United, that's also another offensive option tonight for El Paso Locomotive, Armando Moreno.
Armando Moreno is on the bench. The former United forward. Jabang able to sort that out with a couple on him, and he draws the foul. So solid work by Usman Jabang. Just a little step in there, it looks like, by Palermo Ortiz. Usman Jabang, the Georgia native. 3rd round of the MLS Super Draft by Montreal before transferring to United last season. He's 25 years old, out of McDonough, Georgia. Locomotive, good work there. Nice job, Quesada. He just couldn't steer it away from Hamalainen.
Ball ran a little bit long on him there. Counterattack by the New Mexico United.
Here's Harris to Nava. Christian Nava floating it across, and it's just a missed connection. Again, the man in the middle, Luther Archimede. And a little tangle there as he gets shoveled into Blake Gillingham, and both players stay down on the pitch.
Archimede just misses making contact on that venomous cross. by his teammate. It would have been interesting to see if he would have made contact, what Gillingham would have done if he would have made it.
Nava.
Safe.
Beautifully done. And, yeah, the ball dips, so he goes down on the ground, and it just went under his feet, looked like.
Yeah.
And both players running into each other. No ill intent for either Gillingham or Archimede.
Blake Gillingham once again well positioned on that sequence.
Solid work, riding things out. Kip Keller. New Mexico United not able to keep possession. Torres, Carl Sainty. I will say I don't think we've seen Gabriel Torres get out of third gear this season for Locomotive. Started the season with a knock. Like a lot of the Locomotive veterans has had his issues. I don't think we've seen the best of the former Phoenix Rising man. Keller does well to run that down, knowing Abithia is about ready to bring it in. Locomotive throw.
Keller wanted nothing to do with that. Makes the wise decision, kicks it out of bounds, allowing the New Mexico United defense to set back up again.
Sainty. The young Haitian international. It's well done. That's allowing it to run by is Gomez. Out it comes, though, and that's nifty by Cardona. Shakes, though, really not much of a challenge.
Yeah, I don't think that was meant for a shot. I think he was going more for the cross on that one. Ball comes off a little bit wide, fine Shakes. Easy save for the esteemed goalkeeper for New Mexico United.
Parkland, Florida, 25-year-old. Here is Torres, Locomotive moving it around. Here's Sainty. Solid work. Torres gets it. Abithia. Good turn. And Shakes makes the stop. Diego Abithia has been a menace tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he's making himself, he's moving, he's running, he's making himself available to receive touches non-stop. I think that confidence is we're seeing it blossom here tonight, Duke.
Good work by Shakes to control. That's excellent work by Jabang to lift it over and out to Nava. And here's New Mexico United on the counter. Dayon Harris loses the handle on that cross.
And once again, Duke, a little bit more than 5 minutes into the second half, we saw once again a handful of sequences take place on the offensive third for El Paso Locomotive. The first of this second half. It'll be interesting to see what comes now from the way this match has been going. New Mexico United is due for a series of their own on the offensive third.
Locomotive trying to do their best to avoid that. Bounces up high. It's well played. Abithia just forcing the issue every time he's near the ball.
Speak of the devil.
Here he is. Abithia again. Overhead trying to hook it to Rubin. That's good work at the back. Malik Howell keeps it out of danger for United.
A little bit short there.
And here is Hurst over the top, looking for Harris. Good cover by Gillingham. So our understanding is Locomotive, to get out of the group as the wild card, would have to score 6 tonight. We talked about it theoretically.
Our final score wasn't off. We said about 6-5 match.
Right.
We were right.
For Locomotive, as long as they were on the 6, they were going to be good. But
so if El Paso Locomotive, so then that means New Mexico United needs to score 4? Because they have 2 more than...
They have 1 more.
Okay,
they have 1 more than El Paso, so they would need to score 5 and win. That's the other part. Somebody's got to win tonight.
Right. And I guess, Duke, with every passing minute, this match is establishing more itself as just an authentic derby, just the, bragging rights, and it's an important victory for both of these clubs.
Jabang, that was a nice thought. Archimede trying to run it down, just not able to get under it.
Whether the final outcome of this match leads to either of these teams advancing in the USL Prinx Tires USL Cup is one thing, but I'll tell you what, now I think it's one of those things where you definitely want to see these teams want to win against each other.
Certainly, New Mexico United holding a slight edge in the all-time series in all competitions. Regular season, playoffs, Open Cup, and here in the Prinx Tires USL Cup for the first time.
Even
It's
if it goes to penalty kicks, they still want to get that point.
Sure.
Get that win.
Absolutely. You want to win in front of the home crowd. Good ball out of the back. Ruby to the far post. Was not able to steer that in. And Abithia was ready to slam it shut if it popped loose, but it rolls over the byline. Goal kick coming.
Apparently Shakes didn't get a hand on that at first look. I thought he might have. No, he didn't.
No.
That was further away from his hand and closer to the left pole than what I originally thought as I saw that play live. Interesting.
Amazing shot by the man from Beaverton, Oregon.
I think it's safe to say that El Paso Locomotive is dominating here in the early going of the second half.
Abithia, I would say you're right. We're in the 56th minute, just about. Good work, Locomotive spreading things out again. Quesada, hook to the far post, headed out of trouble. Good work at the back by Howell and Usman Jabang. That's a good take. Torres to the byline. Gabi Torres rolls it up, looking for Abithia in the middle. Lifted out. Kip Keller's there. Headed back into the middle by Hurst. Oh, that's going to bounce nicely for Harris. Trying for that was Cardona, couldn't do it. Here's Harris. Oh, nice work at the back. Stretching out.
Coronado on that one.
That was Robert Coronado. Finds his spot on the back line, and here comes Locomotive.
Locomotive seems to trying to slow the RPMs down on this game. So the last 4 minutes has been a bit of an offensive onslaught on their behalf, trying to slow down.
That's a shirt pull.
And there you go. You're trying to slow the game down. That's a good way to do it. I think both teams are feeling the fact that this game, the tempo of it has increased here in the last few minutes.
Archimede looks like he's given a warning. That's just a shove. Robert Coronado. Fans want the card.
Yes, and within reason. That was just a blatant shirt pull.
Yeah.
A blatant shirt pull and then a push.
Hurst trying to find Harris wide, missed it.
An unnecessary aggression in the middle of the field.
That
was blatant,
right,
and purposeful.
New Mexico, you have to say United kind of losing the plot a little bit right now. Locomotive trying to push the pedal to the metal. That's well cut out. Good job by Gloucester. Runs it down to the middle for Bailey and to Jabang. I think New Mexico United kind of senses that, and they'll take the steam out just a little bit to regain some control. It's a good dummy by Jabang out to Nava. Cross in for Archimede. That's hooked out. It'll be another corner kick. 8th of the night coming for United, but Tony Alfaro not taking any chances. It's a good look straight on at section 105 and 8th notch.
On what is a turning out to be a lovely evening here in downtown El Paso in the borderland.
Now that the sun's down, you're right. Nava again. Lifted in. Up and over. Goal kick. Looks like Malik Howell getting a touch to that, pushed it over the byline.
You know what, Duke, with the issues El Paso Locomotive have had in the first half of the 2026 season when it comes to yellow cards, red cards, maybe a game officiated by Shears what they needed, someone that's trying their hardest to keep his cards in his pocket.
Right. Jabang, everything but the pass at the end. Lifted into the middle. Zico Bailey settling things down. Jabang again. A little more advanced now. Jabang chips one into a spot. Nobody in yellow nearby.
Looks like the first substitutions for New Mexico United are coming up, and it is 4 of them. This should be interesting for the team from Albuquerque.
Quadruple substitution. Up the left side, it's Torres. Gabi Torres. Nice shot. Shakes. A little shaky, but he does hang on.
Abitia there, ready to pounce on that loose ball.
Out to Nava. It's a good heel clip by Archimede. Ball's going to run away from him a little bit. That's a great sliding tackle. Ortiz will take the throw.
Great sprint to cover a lot of area right there for Ortiz to catch up with the breaking forward.
And so, for New Mexico United coming on will be Joseph Melto. In for Dayon Harris. He's run a good race tonight. Also, Valentin Noel on for Greg Hurst. Tyler Blackett will come in for Chris Gloucester. And Jake LaCava will be on for Christian Nava. Nava has run his race as well up and down that right wing.
Can we call this a line change, Duke, with 4 players coming on?
Pretty much. 4 over the boards for New Mexico United and Dennis Sanchez. Sanchez, of course, responsible for the best season Las Vegas Lights FC has ever had. Got them all the way to the Western Conference Finals before they lost, but beat New Mexico United in the process of that a couple of years ago. Out of the back. That's a great feed. Great thought. They just weren't able to, Kip Keller wasn't able to steer it on.
And you know what, Duke? One thing I did notice watching the highlights or paying attention more to the highlights and watching the replay of last week's game for Las Vegas United, kudos to the ownership for the Las Vegas Lights. You could see they're making improvements to Cashman Field every passing year to make it a better fan experience out there for the people in Las Vegas. That's nice to see. That's nice to see. With an ownership group that I think is a couple of years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
a new ownership
this is
group.
her 3rd season.
Jose Bautista, right?
Correct. The former Major League Baseball player. And they have done some good things, and Dennis Sanchez helped him do those good things at least that first year. But, of course, New Mexico United knew a good thing when they saw it, when he put them out of the playoffs and decided to hire the guy. Out of the back, Kip Keller. They'll drop it off here for Hamalainen. Nice ball in. Fought off by Alfaro. Abitia trying to settle. Pinged out of the back. Ortiz gets it started for Locomotive out to Rubin. Rubin and Carl Sainty. Oh, that was a nice thought by Sainty. And Abitia goes after the Haitian international. I don't think that was exactly what they were expecting, but I thought that was a beautiful thought. Rubin not ready for it.
Yeah, no, I think it was Rubin was expecting the ball to go a little bit more directly at him as opposed to the space ahead of him. That was a slight miscommunication. But once again, Duke, we're seeing New Mexico United go through a period where they're taking control of the match. They're easily inching their way up to the offensive third and trying to make things happen against the El Paso Locomotive.
But here's Carl Sainty.
And here we go the other way.
Torres. Rubin and Torres. Back to Alfaro. They'll switch the point of attack. Locomotive about ready to make some changes as well. Zico Bailey, Usman Jabang, little 2-man midfield bit of control for United. Out to Malik Howell. Bailey over to Hamalainen, who had to come back for that. Hamalainen chips one in. Gillingham has the beat on the ball. Jake LaCava, former San Antonio FC. Cava's been everywhere. 25-year-old from New Milford, Connecticut. Lofted over to the far side. Trying to control that off the chest. That is straight into Gillingham. Off of Joseph Melto. And looks like we will have our second half hydration break as we enter the 65th minute.
No, it's not the hydration break. I think we have a substitution coming on.
Oh, the ball is out. You're correct. You are correct. We're close to it, but not quite. So for Locomotive FC, onto the pitch will be Amando Moreno to replace Diego Abitia, who's had one heck of a game. That is strength to strength, though. Amando Moreno always fired up to play against his old team.
Alex Mendez is also coming on.
Mendez will replace Daniel Gomez.
Adding a little bit more wood to that offensive fire, Duke, for El Paso Locomotive. Looks like Junior Gonzalez is making that decision right now to see if they can't win this game in the allotted 90 minutes and not avoid a PK shootout.
Of course, this being the Prinx Tigers USL Cup, there are no draws. Somebody's going to win, even if it's in penalties. We go straight to penalties right after the 90 minutes is up. Jimmy Farr-Carlin in as well.
Didn't see that substitution. It must have came on two moments after the two players came on. When I was looking down on my sheet, writing down the adjustments. Who came off?
That was Quesada.
Okay.
So on for Alvaro Quesada, who's, as you pointed out, a little more quiet of a game. Match winner, of course, in Las Vegas, but did some good work for Locomotive, and both teams seeing if the changes can take effect. Here's Moreno, first touches. Amando Moreno just over the crossbar. Two touches and puts one in. Chris Shakes challenged, but in the end, over the bar.
In the words of one of my favorite movies, Bull Durham, Moreno announcing his presence with authority.
Indeed. And you know he wants to score against his old team. A lot of successful years. That's a bad giveaway. Palermo Ortiz takes it up and just a missed touch. Locomotive winning it back. It's Moreno. He'll clip one again over the top.
You know,
Alex Mendez was just a miss from Mendez there.
Right. Once again, stuff like that is okay. I mean, Moreno taking an opportunity, a surprise opportunity there, and trying to make the most of it.
Good work to get the shot off on the half turn. That is well received. And that's going to be a foul. Extra left in on Melto, who's wanting a card. He's not going to get it. Nicolas Cardona draws the ire of the fans, does Melto. Montserrato Liberia out from Toronto FC 2 in MLS Next Pro. Just 21 years old. Getting the run out here tonight for Dennis Sanchez. Free kick coming, though. And on the restart, out to the far post. There to meet it is Alfaro. Trying to swing it over for LaCava. Out for the throw-in, Malik Howell taking his time. Obviously there for the long throw. Wind at his back, judging from the flags. Lobbed in, knocked back out by Alfaro. Howell, a little give and go with Valentin Noel. Rolls it into space. LaCava pushed off, nice job. Covering is Tony Alfaro, and he earns the goal kick. Good job by the veteran.
I'll tell you what, Lacava got pushed off. I didn't think he was going to be involved in that sequence again. He recovered quickly and pressured Tony Alfaro there.
And we do have the second half hydration break here as we are on the verge of the 70th minute in El Paso. No score between these Derby del Camino Real rivals. Blake Gillingham doing a fine job in net for Locomotive. Chris Shakes as well for United. Somebody's going to walk out of here with a win. It's just a question of who and how, in penalties or in regulation. Hydration break as the sun sets in the Sun City.
Quick update, Duke, just for all of our viewers that are loyal to the USL Championship, to New Mexico United, El Paso Locomotive in the 76th minute, all tied up.
Ow!
In Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium, or Kansas City Stadium as FIFA would like for us to call it. All tied 1-1 Argentina against Switzerland. Argentina playing with one-man advantage as somebody from Switzerland received a second yellow card and was sent off.
That is amazing. A reminder, you can tune into CBS on Saturday, July 18th, the USL Championship Eastern Conference Showdown. Last season's champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC going head-to-head with the 2025 Players' Shield winner Louisville City FC. Must-watch match of the summer. Two elite clubs, one massive stage. So don't miss a minute of the action. That is CBS at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on July 18th. Fans young and old enjoying themselves here at Southwest University Park. Looks like he's having fun.
He's all about it, catching the summer of soccer fever. It's always good to see. From our view directly across, Duke, I'm seeing a bunch of youngins over there enjoying the splash zone out just above our lawn seats. Got to feel good right now.
Green seats, that does have to feel good. Fans dancing it up in downtown El Paso. And it looks like we will have another sub. For Locomotive FC, Robert Coronado's night is done. Kofi Chumasi replacing him here in the 72nd minute. Good crowd on hand here at this Prinx Tires USL Cup match. Of course, lots of eyeballs on El Paso, Texas, if you're not watching Argentina, Switzerland, because of who is expected to be run out tonight for Junior Gonzalez's Locomotive FC. Doesn't look like either team's going to get to the 6 or 5 goals they need tonight, Joe.
No, absolutely not. And like I said, that's okay too. I think we're enjoying ourselves a great soccer match. At the end of the day, for either of these two teams to advance, the chances were relatively slim just because of the goals in favor situation. In a competition, Duke, where the structure, it's a little bit ruthless. I mean, you have one slip-up, and all of a sudden you find yourself with one foot out the door, unfortunately. But on the flip side of that coin, it makes it all that more rewarding for the teams that make it onto the knockout phase of this competition.
Absolutely. You are rewarded for your wins and your goals, which is what the Prinx Tigers USL Cup is all about. Player down and back is Far Carlin. You certainly hope he's okay, getting his first run out for Locomotive in a couple of months. It's been that long since Far Carlin has been on the pitch for El Paso Locomotive FC. Gets a word from Jeremy Shear, our center referee.
Just ran into a bit of a wall there.
None the worse for wear, and that's good to see.
And you know what? Far Carlin was a player, Duke, that new acquisition for El Paso Locomotive during the offseason. We didn't know a whole lot about him, and then all of a sudden, team general manager Mike DiGiulio came in, talked to us a little bit, and he was as advertised in the very first going.
Speed burner. Locomotive can get him open on the wing. Might be some fun to watch him work.
For Carlin working down one flank, Gabby and Ricky Ruiz working the other side.
And here's Amando Moreno, has to come over to receive this ball. Still a lot of work to do. It's chested down nicely by Keller. Straight off of Sainty, good bounce. Jabang helps it along for United. Chumasi winning the ball back, great work. Chamasi coming over from Rhode Island FC, where they made the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of seasons ago, was their defensive midfielder. Played the 6 role, but has been mainly a center back here in El Paso. Looks like he's in the 6 right now.
Once again, Duke, a lot of options for Junior Gonzalez with regards to this roster.
That'll be a push by Moreno.
And it's something that he alluded to this week, saying that, talking about rotating players, which is a theme that you have to encounter the way the USL Championship is developed with its multiple competitions, its March through October regular season calendar.
It's a long season, absolutely. Rubin dealt with well, but draws the contact from Tyler Blackett. The Manchester, England native, a little too physical on Locomotive's still leading goal scorer. It's been a bit since Rubin has found the back of the net. But he has just been in service to his team. Assisted on Locomotive's first goal against Las Vegas Lights to his friend Alex Mendez. Probably could have taken a shot, decided to dish. Mendez had the better shot, and it paid off.
And I'll tell you what, once again, I'll mention it.
Speaking of Mendez.
I'll mention it at least once a broadcast, and I'll probably be doing that for the rest of the year. I don't think I've seen a forward cover so much space the way Rubin does over the course of 90 minutes of play.
We've seen him help out in the back defensively. Here is Mendez's free kick over the top. And it's lifted out for a Locomotive throw.
Battle of Giants there. Battle of Giants there going on.
Jabang is not a slight customer. Here is Alfaro.
I don't think someone Alfaro's size is used to going up against someone that matches his.
No. And there he is, warming up a bit on the touchline. Cristo Fernandez, as we are into the 77th minute. Shown here on the big screen at Southwest University Park.
Crowd reacting.
His first professional soccer since a stint in Puerto Rico.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago.
Over a decade ago.
And of course, starting as a youth player in the Tecos FC system.
In Zapopan, Jalisco. Beautiful community just outside of Guadalajara.
Guadalajara native. Here is Mendez again. Locomotive earns another free kick. They'll roll that one, and it will go over the back line for a corner. Yep, tried to make his comeback just over a decade ago. Didn't quite work out. The knee injuries were still too severe, but certainly the medical technology has improved, and the passage of time has helped him out, and he's probably a pretty fresh 35-year-old as far as pro soccer players go.
Not a whole lot of mileage on that, that's for sure.
Yep, Mendez short corner. Locomotive trying to get ahead to that.
Just missed it.
Rubin was on the scene. Big switch by New Mexico United. Here comes Zico Bailey. Lifts off to the left wing. Back to Jabang. On the left side, Hamalainen. Sent into the middle of the box, but it's straight to Locomotive FC. A little bit of danger there for Carl Sainty, but he deals with it. Lifted down, Rubin trying to control. Gets the bounce. It is a Locomotive throw-in. And there he is, ready to come in. Draws the applause of the crowd. Coming on for Rubio Rubin.
What everybody came to see tonight at Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso, the long-anticipated debut.
Cristo Fernandez. Football is life. On to replace Rubin. Everybody, of course, knows him for his acting role as Danny Rojas on Ted Lasso. But signed with El Paso for this season. Completed a 2-month trial. Did very well against New Mexico United in their preseason match.
And from that moment, the rumors started to circulate. The rumors became reality.
I was like, no way, when I first heard it.
Been working diligently over the course of the past several weeks.
Played forward. That's a dummy ball. Fernandez still working out the kinks. Alfaro covers here. Nicely done with Gillingham.
Interesting, playing as a forward as opposed to a little bit slider back in the attacking midfielding range, which is what we've seen a lot of him in practice too.
Over the top to Farcarlin. Good touch by the Liberian. Takes it to the byline, looking to play it in. Little off target. Locomotive coming back with the ball. Here is Chumasi. Gabi Torres. Torres will have a go, and it's just tipped over the bar. Shakes had to get up on it, but he did. Goodness gracious. Gabi Torres nearly brought down the house.
What a shot outside of 35 yards on a rail. That ball was sent.
Chris Shakes, though, doing what Chris Shakes has done for United all season.
Bean Steller in goal.
And it'll be Alex Mendez over to take the corner.
One ball he judges perfectly, doesn't take a swing at it. The other one he does interfere with that was probably going out. This one he did, that was all instinct right there by Shakes.
Third corner of the night for Locomotive.
Heck of a save.
Driving ball to the far post, knocked back Alfaro. Headed out, Chumasi trying to keep a hold of that. It's a good job by Keller. Kip Keller was there, and so is Chris Shakes. A long lob. Trying to catch him on the counter, Valentin Noel. Lifted over to Melto. Melto and Noel. Noel near post and into the side netting. Gillingham had his angles covered, but dangerous in the counter. As we are into the 82nd minute here in El Paso. Looks like United about ready to make another sub. The former Arsenal man, Gideon Zelalem, about ready to enter the pitch. Native of Germany. Torres. Chumasi trying to keep a hold of that. A little bit of a tangle. Jabang's going to get the better of him there. Out to Melto. Melto again, centering ball, looking for Jabang to give and go. Went. And here is the sub. So Gideon Zelalem will take the place of Luther Archimed. Zelalem more of a midfield, kind of defensive midfield, maybe an 8 sometimes. So interesting, Dennis Sanchez taking off Archimed, who has run a good race tonight for sure.
Definitely the spark for New Mexico United.
Made a couple of senior appearances, has been in Champions League competitions for Arsenal as well. Was thought to be maybe another answer for the U.S. men's national team before they found their latest. But plying his trade here for New Mexico United, and we have a hold in the restart.
Hard to tell what
right
Shear's waiting for to get this game going back up again.
Gillingham looking long. Fans trying to get something started here tonight.
You know, seeing Cristo run out on that field is a lot of thoughts going through my head, man.
Very, very cool moment for Locomotive FC. and for soccer for the USL Championship. A lot of eyes waiting to see this happen. And you'll get a good 15 minutes or so of game action for Locomotive here tonight.
Yeah, and I think El Paso Locomotive, that name will be echoed on some of the national morning show news shows come Monday morning. I just get that feeling, which is great for the borderland.
Of course, Cristo Fernandez has shown up at SoFi Stadium. Oh, the great long ball out of the back. Trying to control. That's going to roll in for the goal. Joseph Melto, long ball, New Mexico United, strikes at Southwest University Park. Melto gets just enough of a touch to beat Gillingham to the ball. That's all he needed to do.
Yeah, no. What a sequence.
Beautifully chested down by the substitute.
For all that we've talked about over the course of this match, Duke, about the teams being very systematic in approaching the offensive third and staying there, creating a handful of sequences in the offensive third at a time. What's the difference maker in this one thus far? A ball over the top, a quick wham-bam, and ball's in the back of the net. Catches everybody by surprise here at Southwest University Park.
Well, if you look, that's how they scored the match winner versus Oakland. Long ball out of the back, run down by Dayon Harris, the ping over to Zico Bailey. And even Nava's goal was a pass out of the middle of the park, out along the wing, so they can certainly play the long game. Locomotive now in a position where they need to equalize if they want to send this at least to penalties.
If the score holds, this would be the first victory for New Mexico United in 2026 against their arch rival, El Paso Locomotive.
Right. U.S. Open Cup play, of course, 4-0 Locomotive in Albuquerque. 2-2 draw in Albuquerque earlier this season. It's the first match the teams have played in El Paso in meaningful competition. Chip forward Malik Howell, and certainly New Mexico United doing a much better job of keeping the ball and looking for their opportunities. They've taken it with aplomb. Joseph Melto. Chested down. That's a hard goal to score, too. What a skill. Here's Farcarlin. Along the right wing, ping forward, just out of the reach of Fernandez, who commits the foul. And gets a yellow card. Well, he's into the stats. Fans don't like it, but Fernandez reaching out his hands on Chris Shakes, who stays down. Well, okay.
He raised his arm a little bit there.
Yeah.
Made himself a tad bigger. Directed the movement.
Well, Fernandez.
At Shakes.
Right. Was trying to get things under control. The fans don't like it a bit. El Paso fans saying he's our big-time celebrity. Chris Shakes will get the restart. New Mexico United would love nothing more than to keep possession and bleed this out. The keepers play catch. Farcarlin. Little give and go, Fernandez. Missed in the pass back. Here is Jabang. Back and over to Tyler Blackett. Jabang over to the right wing and Kip Keller. A little further right. That's going to be a foul.
You got to hand it to New Mexico United, Duke. They score a quick goal on a long ball, and they've done a good job in the ensuing minutes to quell the situation, to maintain control, maintain possession of the ball, and keep control of the match.
Absolutely. Out along the right wing side, here's LaCava. In it rolls, and it's two. LaCava finding Zico Bailey, and it's 2-0 United here in El Paso.
And I think that might be the nail of the coffin in for tonight for New Mexico United. stellar sequence down the flank.
Locomotive just switching off. That one gets by Alfaro. And Zico Bailey scores for his second straight game.
El Paso Locomotive, Alfaro there. Got to be responsible for just getting a foot on the ball, diverting it in any which way.
Back line for Locomotive doing a fine job throughout the evening. But letting things slip here late.
Lapses of concentration, momentary lapses of concentration. Unfortunately tonight for Locomotive, paying the ultimate price on both occasions. Can't take away anything from New Mexico United, though, at all whatsoever. They've done their game. They've done their match.
Long ball out of the back. It's knotted down. Into the 90th minute here in El Paso. Good work by Torres. Playing it into space. It'll be rolled up for Chris Shakes. That's a great bit of work. We're hearing 5 minutes of MAC.bid stoppage time. And the signal is up. So, some time for Locomotive to make something happen, but Sainty committing the foul. Jabang goes down. Well, only one yellow card tonight, and it's on Cristo Fernandez. Locomotive fans looking for word to this night for many, many, many weeks. But New Mexico United doing what they want to do and spoiling the party. Torres, Fernandez, nice give and go to Moreno. Catches him behind the line. Good catch up, Moreno. Shake and bake, sails one. Farcarlin saying, I'm right here at the far post.
What
but
a give and
only
go.
Had eyes to go for goal.
What a give and go by Fernandez there. Nice little flick right at the feet of Moreno. Could have made a little bit of a longer run, Moreno, it seemed like right there. He stops and decides to try and center the ball.
You see the flashes for Cristo Fernandez. I'm sure he's played the game at different times, but certainly nowhere near the professional level. And this is his first professional game in more than a decade.
Yeah, and
so the rust is inevitable.
Absolutely. Regardless of how many touches and how much time and how much intensity training sessions can be, these lights are on. And
it's a little bit
that's
different to be out there. Yep.
Exactly.
But we see the flash, certainly. That was a beautiful pass to Spring Moreno.
Yeah. Definitely looks like he belongs, simply put.
Into the third of 5 added tonight in El Paso. Sainty. Neither of these teams will be in the hunt for that wild card spot out of the back. Nice flash and a good touch. Shakes. Are they going to clear it off the line? How about that? Comes to Moreno, though. Moreno has it go. That's blocked away. Still with it, Moreno. Up top, having a go. It's Torres knocked off the line. Kip Keller has done some work tonight, and he's hobbled after that action. Goal-saving clearance by Keller. That'll bounce out for Sainty trying to play it over. Here is New Mexico United. Out along the right wing side, it is Melto. Locomotive trying to turn him over. Melto does a good job of handling the pressure. Great work by Keller to clear it out. That was rolling into the back. Blackett. Midway through the 94th minute. LaCava.
It's hard to tell if New Mexico is trying to take the air out of the ball or trying to get a third goal, to be perfectly honest with you, Duke.
I think if the opportunity presented itself, certainly. That was actually Noel in the back. Moreno's going to draw the contact. Zelalem stepped in and delivered a forearm. Gee whiz.
That was a tad bit more aggressive than Cristo's forearm there to Shakes, I have to say.
Well, yeah.
I just don't think center referee Shear caught that. Might have been looking away at that moment.
Up the left wing, here is Moreno. Rolls it into space. To Masi. Mendes. Zico Bailey with it. Into the final half minute or so here in El Paso. New Mexico playing out the string. Earning their first victory against Locomotive FC this season.
Looks like the series is going to be even at 7 wins, 7 losses, and 9 draws, right, Duke?
And that is it. The 23rd edition of the Derby del Camino Real. The final score, Locomotive 0, New Mexico United 2. Criste Fernandez gets his run out. The fans are entertained, certainly, but it is New Mexico United that will walk away with the victory here in regulation in the Prinx Tigers USL Cup. Again, both of these teams needed to score a lot more than they did. I mean, Locomotive obviously needed to score something anyway. For New Mexico United, probably needed 5 goals and 3 more besides to make that wild card spot. But it will be the Derby del Camino Real going to United.
Absolutely, Duke, and I think at the end of the day, this was a match we saw 90 minutes of football that were definitely worthy of a Derby del Camino Real. Up until the point where in the 85th minute when the first goal came, it was a 0-0 match that was very competitive, very entertaining, and at the end of the day, in the span of 4 minutes, this match is determined. The outcome is New Mexico winning 2-0.
The goals by the second half substitute, Joseph Melto and Zico Bailey, again, 4 minutes apart in the 85th and 89th minute. But that's the final score. We're back to wrap things up from downtown El Paso right after this. Stick around. Joe and I will be right back.
An important message from Lovett & Murray, personal injury attorneys.
If you've been in a car wreck and suddenly someone calls you offering legal help,
that's not a coincidence. They bought your information.
They're runners. It's illegal for them to contact you like that.
Don't trust anyone who calls you out of nowhere.
You have the right to choose who represents you. Don't be fooled by solicitors.
Call us for a free, no-obligation consultation. Choose local.
Choose Lovett & Murray.
If you've been injured, call Lovett & Murray right now.
How do I pick a body shop?
When selecting a body shop to repair your vehicle, the last thing you want to do is worry about scams. At Sergio Lewis Body Shop, we offer lifetime warranty and we honor all insurance estimates.
What do I need to watch out for?
Be careful with telemarketers who will promise you the moon. With almost 40 years in business, we are committed to you, the customer. And remember, it's your choice by law, not the insurance company on where you want to take your vehicle.
Get ready for a night of non-stop action at Paso Speedway Park. Feel the adrenaline as drivers push their limits, battling for the top spot on our fast and challenging track. Whether you're cheering from the stands or enjoying the great food and drinks, there's excitement around every corner. Bring the whole family and experience the energy of live racing. Gates open at 5 and the green flag drops at 7:30. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets today at VotosSpeedwayPark.com. That's VotosSpeedwayPark.com. We'll race you here.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso. Your final score, Locomotive FC 0, New Mexico United 2. The 23rd edition of the Derby del Camino Real goes to New Mexico United, their 8th overall win in the series.
And I'll tell you what, that jumps out at me the most there is that possession, 54-45, it just didn't seem that way. over the course of 90 minutes. But I'll leave that statistic to people that have a higher pay grade than I do.
Locomotive saluting the fans as well here at Southwest University Park. It was wonderful to see Cristo Fernandez finally make the pitch, coming on in the 79th minute. Had a pretty good 11-plus minutes or so. But in the end, it is New Mexico United winning tonight 2-0. So for Joe Rodriguez and our producer Parker Landreth and all of the gang, our director Justin Hodge tonight, I am Duke Keith. Your final score: New Mexico United defeats Locomotive FC 2-0. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks. Locomotive on the road at FC Tulsa. It is SC Jackson back here 2 Saturdays from now at Southwest University Park. Until then, for all of us in El Paso, I'm Duke Keith. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.